When the moon hits your eye like a big pizza pie, that's an Amur Leopard. Welcome, everyone. Oh my god, I hope none of you clicked off during that. That would have been very embarrassing. Welcome, everyone, to our second speed build of the City Conservation Center, where we are building for the beautiful Amur Leopard. Or debatably not beautiful. I still don't know what the verdict is on it. It's like the day before the pet comes out, so I'm very curious to see how you're all going to react to it. But still, nonetheless, it's a beautiful animal, in my opinion, and I just couldn't wait to build for it. So today we are going to be starting our little Amur section. This section is really going to span like the kind of like southern Russia, northern China kind of area, and it's just going to be a whole bunch of like those colder weather animals, and I really couldn't wait to get started with this. So it's going to be kind of like a derelict Russian town. I know like the whole like Russian stuff going on really isn't the best kind of base areas off of, but I still was so inspired by like the idea and concept of this, but I think we're going to reclaim it to the Amur section. So I think we're going to be all good right over there. So as we essentially make our way throughout here, I really wanted first and foremost to have a beautiful viewing gallery over here. So what I really want to achieve by doing this is a nice kind of like wooden frame, which just goes along perfectly with those wooden slats that we got. These pieces are so beautiful and so clean that they are perfect for sections like this. They are just so gorgeous. And again, this viewing area is going to be on the workshop. Wow, sorry, my coffee is about to fight me right now. But yeah, this viewing gallery is on the workshop right now. So you guys are more than happy to start using it for your own sections, for your own zoos. What you can also see me doing right here is essentially trying to get a pathway all working out over here. I really wanted to just connect this to the trade center. You guys can start to see that I don't really have the most conventional pathways for my staff. Essentially, I don't really play the game functionally. What I really do play the game for is just making beautiful zoos, and that's about it. And I really do just, whenever I can, hide any pathway for staff that I can. For the most part, sometimes I do have some exceptions, but what I'm doing down here is taking our kind of like custom roof and I'm making it my own. So I'm going for a little bit more of a red vibe for this area. I feel like the red mixed with like all these beautiful pine trees that I'm hoping to add in here, I still haven't yet, will be something really gorgeous to see. Of course, this area would be the holding for our Amur Leopard, which you can already see are in their habitat. They're making their way in there. And also, those grass panels make for really awesome ways to hide those little backstage areas. Really awesome piece over there. Can't wait to use that some more. I actually do use the flip side of that in our next episode, which will be the Przewalski's Wild Horse. That's where we're going to have our giveaway. So in case if you guys aren't already subscribed, be sure to subscribe to stay up to date with that. Making our way throughout here and just adding these small little pieces just to make the building feel a little bit more built up. And I'm also doing custom hedges. Once again, I've been using these guys all the way throughout Hope Harbor, and I can't wait to bring this kind of style back into our new City Conservation Center. It's going to be super awesome just to see this all come into play. Also using the beautiful new Amur Leopard signs. They are gorgeous. Oh my gosh. You guys may have seen like my prop and whole like conservation DLC update overview video. Really awesome stuff that we got in this pack, and those in particular are really awesome. Also, what we're doing over here is making use of some beautiful pieces. I'm essentially making more custom fences, which you guys will, again, be able to use from the workshop. These pieces are very much emblematic of some concept art that I saw from an Amur Leopard habitat. I really want to have it be a lot more organic than the actual concept art that I saw. So we're going for a little bit more of an organic shape, and you can see me start to make use of, I don't really know. I really wanted to just lay out where I wanted the climbing frames to be throughout here. So you could see me start to use like the grass as a way to indicate where I want the big logs to be. And essentially we kind of build up the habitat from there. What I really wanted to do was just set these up because I've never really built in this style before, and set up all these beautiful dead trees, dead logs, and stuff like that as a way to give our Amur Leopards a lot of climbing frames. because believe it or not, these guys are very arboreal. They spend a lot of their times in trees, and many zoos around the world tend to give them a lot more vertical habitats than anything else because they do need enrichment to climb and stuff like that. If you've been to a zoo where the Amur leopard, or leopard in general, has not had much climbing frames, you could probably tell from the animal's welfare that it may be a little bit stressed. It's important for zoos to really replicate how animals would behave in the wild and how they would interact with their environment in the wild. And that's why I try and incorporate as much of that stuff as possible into my zoos, really helping to incorporate a lot of dynamic habitats and stuff like that, as well as really trying to make them feel a lot more naturalistic, because that's important. Less so for the animal. I'm not really sure if it's really that important for the animal. I really need to do a little bit of research into that, but it really is important for the guest perspective as well. If you're just looking in a mesh cage at, like, you know, say a lion, maybe you're at like Carol Baskin's place, you can see that it's not really the best habitat for the lion. But if you're looking at a habitat, say San Diego Zoo's lion habitat, I know it's not really the best, even though it's kind of like their flagship animal. It's still a lot more naturalistic than anything else. It has beautiful swooping fields, and has beautiful like foliage all lining the landscape and stuff like that. I think it's very important for the guest perspective, at least, to have some stuff like that, just to help represent the animal landscape and really help give the, I don't want to say illusion, but the effect of a naturalistic landscape. What I'm also doing here, I'm working on this viewing area. I really wanted to have it feel a little bit more organic within here, so I'm also making use of some various different things as well. And one of the themes I do want to have throughout this area is a little bit more of an industrial theme. I've kind of played with this in the past before, but this time around I really want to go ham with it. You guys may remember Foxborough Zoo. If you guys remember my buddy Crocs' editions for our Ends of the World. I think it was Ends of the Arctic area. I forget the name of it. I apologize. But it's essentially this derelict town, and that's kind of the vibes I want to do in here, just with a little bit more color. So we're kind of going on throughout here and doing that, and I'm also making use of our decals as well, just to help blend in the area just a little bit more, help it give the effect that, you know, it's kind of built up a bit more. And I'm also adding some stone pillars as well to help ground the area up just a smidge more. I think it comes out really good in the end, and using these pieces, it just is super awesome just to see, like, this whole area come together. That's one of my favorite things of speed builds. I gotta watch some more this DLC kind of drop, because I'm sure there are going to be so many inspired builders throughout, like, this whole DLC cycle that are going to be doing some really awesome stuff. So I really suggest you guys not only watch mine, but check out what everyone else is doing as well. If you guys are hoping to get some inspiration, I can't recommend some people enough. If you guys are looking for theming and concept and, like, inspiration, Beyond Drew TV and Estan Wolf are some incredible creators, as well as Simply Savannah, who do, like, the beautiful themed habitats, and I can't suggest those guys enough. But making our way throughout here and adding some climb-proof fencing. Now, of course, as I said before, leopards are very arboreal, which means that they are built for climbing. And because of that, we need to account for that in our zoo. So what I'm adding throughout here are little overhangs for climb-proof fencing. What I should probably go throughout here and do as well is add some hot wire as well. That's something that zoos tend to use a lot when it comes to arboreal animals like big cats. It essentially deters them from really touching the fencing, and it deters them from trying to climb out and escape from their habitats. It's a very standard industry practice that a lot of zoos have been using, and it's very important in terms of realism, in case if you guys want to add that to your zoos. What I'm also doing here is a custom window. Really can't suggest this enough. It really is super awesome just to build custom windows, and I can't recommend that enough. It's super awesome, and it's super easy to do. All you really need to do is make use of the pieces and really help figure out what will work best for you. And also doing a door here as well, not only for our cats but for our keepers as well. And I also do a little bit of decoration throughout here and start to add some, like, of our backstage props and stuff like that. We have, like, a rake and stuff like that that a keeper left behind or something like that. And we also add some gutters as well, because these are pieces that we got in the DLC and I freaking love them. So we're kind of making use of those throughout here and really adding that to the entire build itself. And we're starting to implement some naturalism in here as well. So we're starting to work a lot with our faux rocks. Again, as I said in our last episode, I really do love to combine the faux rocks with the natural rocks. It really does help to give a better effect when it comes to your habitats, and a lot of zoos all around the world tend to use a lot more faux rocks than real rocks than anything else. I know in cases like the Bronx Zoo, as well as the rest of the WCS, that's essentially all the zoos in New York City, they tend to use a lot of faux rock work that really do implement a lot more real rocks in them. So you'll see a lot of stuff like combining pebbles with a lot of plaster and faux rock and concrete. That really does give such a beautiful, beautiful naturalistic look to their habitats, and that is something that I really did take away from my last visits to Queens, Central Park, Bronx Zoo. I did all of those this year with Nick. It's been like an absolute blast. But still making our way throughout here and adding the rest of the foliage in here as well, making use of that saltwort bush that I tend to really use in these builds. And also our European DLC foliage as well, still extremely useful even till this day. The periwinkle and the dogwood bush are still some incredibly useful pieces that I use just a ton throughout here. I just tend to sink the periwinkle grass into the ground a little bit more, just help give it a little bit more of a naturalistic look. I feel like having it be right on the surface of the ground is a little bit too jarring, so having it be kind of sunk in a little bit is my little technique to have it look a little bit more naturalistic. Try saying a little bit more. Yeah, ain't that right? So I'm also utilizing these beautiful fences as well to really help frame the area a little bit more. Essentially just trying to help this area feel a little bit more complete. Again, as I said in my last video, the outside of the habitat is just as important as the inside. When you're building zoos, you're not only building for the animal, but you're building for the guest as well, and that's something that I always do appreciate seeing. So doing all that stuff throughout there is very important. But what you can see right here is me implementing all these wonderful new props that we just recently got. So I'm using a tap pillar just in case if a keeper needs a hose off the environment. I'm including a lot of stuff like these tools, like the rake over there, just in case if, like, you know, they need to clean up the bedding a little bit more. And I'm using this air conditioning unit as a way to make a kind of rolling door. So essentially when the leopards are supposed to go inside, those would just roll up. And also, I love that leopard statue. I'm sorry to all the leopard statue haters out there, but that is the cutest thing ever. I know it kind of looks like a cheetah, and you know what? That just makes it even better because you could use it for both animals. But what I'm essentially doing over here too is making nice smaller viewing areas for the guests to actually see over. I'm also putting some faux rocks over there to deter guests from actually reaching the habitat. And I'm also including a lot of that triordia grass to help give a little bit more of a naturalistic look. It really does help to give a look of kind of weeds that are growing, and I can't recommend that little technique enough. But as we end that, we're about to enter our cinematic. So I do want to stop and thank you guys for stopping by to check out this really awesome habitat. You guys are even more awesome than this habitat, and I really do appreciate you guys stopping by. In case if you guys did like this video and you do like my style, I really do suggest you guys subscribe. We are right now we're about 900 subscribers away from the big 9,000 and 1,900 away from the big 10,000. So I really do hope we are able to reach that this year. I can't thank you guys enough for even stopping by to begin with. Even if you don't want to subscribe, you guys are super awesome, and thank you guys so much for watching. Be sure to stay tuned for our next video, which I believe should be coming out tomorrow, where we will be giving away a copy of the Conservation DLC. I can't wait to see you guys there. Thank you guys so much for watching. Enjoy the rest of the cinematics of the leopards, and I can't wait to see you all in the next video. Take care and have the most wonderful of wonderful days. Bye-bye now.